What is going on, guys? Batty Gone Bats here, and today I want to talk about the Hall of Fame career with untapped potential. One of the greatest guards of all time. One player that needs to be talked about more. And when you talk about the greatest players of all time, you're talking about Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Bill Russell, but one name should be thrown in that conversation, and that name is Tracy McGrady. With unmatched size and unmatched basketball talent, this man could have been the greatest to ever play the game. But with injuries and setbacks, reality struck, and he did not succeed to the potential that everyone thought he had. And ladies and gentlemen, you are watching The Case for Tracy. And we are talking about Tracy McGrady today. A Hall of Fame career with untapped potential. Had great expectations behind him. But with a complicated legacy and injuries, he never quite became the player that everyone thought he would. Many people say he should not be in the Hall of Fame, and you have your points. He never really did anything spectacular. He never won an MVP, never won an NBA championship. But digging deep into his legacy, you will find that he is highly underrated and he's one of the top 10 guards in NBA history. First, I'm going to tell you stats of a certain NBA player, an all-time great, in Allen Iverson. In Allen Iverson's MVP year, and I believe that was 2001, in his MVP year, he averaged 31 points a game, 2.5 steals a game, 4.6 assists a game, and then rebounds were 3.8 on a 44% field goal shooting percentage. So, he is great in everyone's eyes, Allen Iverson. But let's look at Tracy McGrady's 32 points per game year. He averaged in 2003 on the Orlando Magic 32 points a game with 1.7 steals a game, 5.5 assists, 6.5 rebounds, and 50% field goal shooting. So he averaged not as good as Allen Iverson's MVP year. Like that's what I'm taking into consideration. I don't see that at all. I take Tracy McGrady any day over Allen Iverson, and that's me. Because Tracy McGrady had the body of LeBron James. He was 6'8", and with unmatched size and talent, he had the talent of that of a Michael Jordan. Even Kobe Bryant has stated that the only player to give him a really rough time is Tracy McGrady. Because Tracy McGrady, again, 6'8", and the untapped potential, and the untapped talent, and the speed. He had the speed of a John Wall, with the three-point shot of a Stephen Curry at a time. But yet, he gets lost in history. See, Tracy McGrady is one of those players with that untapped potential that you have to look back and say, what if? Some of his most famous NBA moments of all time include 5 back-to-back alley-oops between Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady. Back-to-back, are you kidding me? Yes, now I know this slam dunk contest was destroyed by Vince Carter, but Tracy McGrady also put on a show in that slam dunk contest. Tracy McGrady removes Cornell David from existence. He just dunks right over him. No, just come on, get out the way. Tracy McGrady, like I said earlier, sends Kobe Bryant to the floor. Now, yeah, Kobe Bryant did get him back, but he sends him to the floor, and it proves that this kid, Tracy McGrady, was something special. Tracy McGrady, let's talk about. He is one of the greatest self-alley-oopers of all time, maybe even the greatest self-alley-ooper of all time. Oops it himself and does dunks and all layups and all that type of stuff. It's just insane. Let's not forget the time where he played the Nets in February of 2003, where he posted up a 46 point, 13 assists, and 10 rebound, a triple-double. That's insane. Not many people can do that in the NBA today. Not many. Also, let's talk about the 44-point and game winner against the 76ers in 2001. Let's not forget that one. Oh, and let's not forget in his Houston days, dunks on Drew Gooden, passes right past LeBron James, 360 layups, 31 points on the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2005. Come on. Hits game winner on the Dallas Mavericks in the 2005 playoffs. How about the time where he just completely destroys Sean Bradley, dunks right on him? Come on, you can't forget that. Let's not forget the time, the most famous moment in Tracy McGrady's career, probably one of the greatest moments in all of NBA history. The single most clutchest performance, in my opinion, of any NBA player. Now, you know me, I believe Kobe Bryant is the clutchest player of all time, and I do believe Michael Jordan is a close number 2. But for, in the span of a short amount of time, this man did something unthinkable. Tracy McGrady against the San Antonio Spurs scored 13 points in 33 seconds. Now, let's break that down into numbers. He would have broke Will Chamberlain's 100-point game in roughly 5 minutes. That is insane. You gotta be kidding me. And not to mention, if I'm doing my math correctly, he would score 38,000 points, which is Kareem #1 on the all-time scoring list, in roughly about, let me think, a half a season? If that? I might be doing my numbers wrong. I'll post on the comments or the description if I'm correct on that or not. But that's what I believe by my math standards. Not many people can do that. Oh, well, Reggie Miller, 8 points in 9 seconds. But he got really lucky off that. I'm not saying Tracy McGrady never did get lucky off that. But against some of the best defensive teams in the San Antonio Spurs, and I'm the best defender in the league at the time, in Bruce Bowen, where he shot those shots over, come on. 3-point contested shots, come on. You cannot sit here and tell me that Tracy McGrady is not that good. Now the question, should he be in the Hall of Fame? He's undoubtedly, arguably, the greatest Orlando Magic of all time. Now, I don't know, between Penny Hardaway and between Shaquille O'Neal and Dwayne Howard, I don't know. He's in the top 4, though. But he was a player that made a team relevant when a time when that team wasn't even relevant. You have to look. Should he be in the top 50 players of all time? Well, I do agree. I do agree. In his time with the Orlando Magic, because that is arguably his best days, he averaged 28 points per game with them and a 48% field goal percentage with them. That is something you really don't see much. In all 4 of his seasons in Orlando, McGrady had a usage rate greater than 30% and an assist rate greater than 25%. That essentially means that 50% or more of the Orlando Magic's offense flowed directly through McGrady at all 4 times in those years. There have been 63 players who qualified for the minutes per game leaderboard to accomplish that 30 to 25 feet before. Some are all-timers. For instance, Russell Westbrook has done it 5 times. Dwayne Wade has done it 8 times. Michael Jordan has done it 7 times. Allen Iverson, previously mentioned, has done it 5 times. Kobe Bryant, 7 times. And LeBron James, 10 times. That is elite class we're talking about. Elite class. And McGrady cannot be thrown in there? He has to be. He had one of the best scoring bursts of any player in the league. it was not crazy to discuss him and Kobe Bryant in the same breath. You talk about Kobe Bryant and how clutch he was and the shooter, how good Kobe was a shooter. You have to look at Tracy McGrady as well. Before Tracy McGrady had the injuries and stuff, he gets thrown out of these all-time conversations because of the injuries. But you have to look at the talent and what he could have accomplished. And what he accomplished in a short amount of time is something incredible. He's easily one of the greatest Orlando Magic of all time. He's one of the greatest Houston Rockets of all time. Arguably one of the greatest Toronto Raptors of all time. He's just that good. Tracy McGrady is something that sadly we can't. How would we put it? Sadly, that we were too guilted in not witnessing, I guess. Because some players, not some players, some people have not witnessed that. Because he played for the Orlando Magic. The 2002-2003 T-Mac, he had one of the greatest seasons that nobody really talks about. When you talk about great NBA seasons, you are talking about Will Chamberlain averaging 50 points and 20 boards a game, where you're going to talk about Steph Curry's 30-point per game year on 50% field goal shooting with 402 threes a game, 402 threes in the season. You're talking about Kobe Bryant's 2008 MVP. You're going to talk about Russell Westbrook's triple-double year. But not many people talk about this year. You have to look. If you're going to put this into perspective, Orlando's field goal percentage on the court, when he was on the court, Orlando's field goal percentage was 49.7%. Ranked in the league, he was tied for fourth. The Orlando Magic was tied for fourth. And their offensive rating was 109.3. So that was really good. Ranked in the league, they were second. When he wasn't on the court, well, 41.9% was Orlando's field goal percentage. Ranked in the league was 30th. That's pretty bad. Orlando's offensive rating went from a 109.3 to a 91.8. It's almost 20. Ranked in league 30th in offensive rating. And a 91.8 offensive rating is absurdly low. So you have to compare it to the worst offenses in NBA history. At 3 is the 98-99 Bulls. 92.4 offensive range game, and I believe that's the year Jordan. That was the year Jordan was done playing. Next is the 76-77 New York Knicks. 92.2 points per game offensive rating, I believe that is, or something around that. Then it's the 2002-2003 Nuggets before Melo. 92.2 offensive rating. That's not good. And number one is this Magic without T-Mac. Without T-Mac, they are the lowest, 91.8. So that's just something insane. We can compare this to let's say Russell Westbrook. When he's on the court, Westbrook's on the court, Oklahoma City's field goal percentage is at 51%. Ranking the league is 17th. The Oklahoma City's offensive range is an 11.5, and ranking the league is 11th. When he's off the court, that field goal percentage goes down to 47%, ranking the league 30th. Offensive rating 101, ranking the league 30th. So you can compare that to there. Okay, you can compare Kobe Bryant to these all-time greats. I mean, not Kobe Bryant, Tracy McGrady to these all-time greats. In the 2002-2003 year, his usage was 35.2, field goal percentage 50%, and the league average was 47.4. That's pretty insane. Kobe Bryant. 05-06 year, the 35 points per game year. 38.7 was his usage. Field goal percentage was around the 48% range. League average was 49, so just a little lower. Allen Iverson, the 2000-2001 year, 37.8 usage rate, field goal percentage 44, and the league average was 47 at the time. Westbrook, 41.8 usage rate, this is from last season. Field goal percentage 47.6, League average, 51.4.
And even after all that,
his stat line for the whole season,
he is
like I keep
still
mentioning,
lost in the
32.1 points per game, 5.5 assists, 6.5 rebounds, 40% field goal percentage.
Again,
It's 1.7 steals. It's something we don't really talk about much. They did make it in the playoffs that year, sneaking in as an 8th seed. They went up 3-1 on the
we just don't talk about it.
Detroit Pistons.
Is he a top 10
team that started the series by great scoring. 43 points, 46, 29, and 27 the first 4 games against one of the best defensive teams in the league.
Hey, even D'Angelo Russell.
Even though he had a 37-point game later in the season,
Tracy McGrady,
the Pistons came back from a 3-1 deficit.
So why aren't we throwing him in the conversation with the greatest shooting guards?
And one of the greatest individual seasons.
This is me not saying that
players
Tracy
ever
McGrady
seen.
is the greatest player of all time because he's not by any means, but he is.
Tracy McGrady had a 5-year run where he averaged 27.6 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. That was equal to what Kobe had in his time. He led the league in scoring 2 times in a row and was 2-time first team, 2-time second, and a 1-time third team. If that is something
a continuation of the series, the case for previously was the case for LeBron James. This time is the case for Tracy McGrady.
Really can't.
Next time it would be the case for someone else.
And it's sad that people
comments
are lost in this history.
should be the next player
I
should throw down. Whether it's basketball, the NFL, the WWE.
I personally take Tracy McGrady in any top 10 shooting guards
throw something down
list or competition, whatever you may have.
He's in the top 10
shooting guards
of all time.
Like, he's, in my opinion, the top 15 of all time.
Saying you just watched
He's
the case.